Ready again.
Oh, I'm sorry, hang on 1 second, Wanda.
Sure.
I'm sorry. Okay, sorry, there?
I'm here.
Okay, great. So walk me through the process, as if, because I know nothing. So from the beginning, from getting the milk, can you just kind of walk me through the stages of cheese making?
Okay, what I'll do is walk you through the stages of raising goats and up to the cheese making process. What we do is we do the European tradition with our goats. We breed them in the fall, which is around All Saints Day. So it's in October usually, September, October. And then it takes 5 months for them to have babies. So they'll have their babies in the spring, which is usually around February and March, usually mid to late February to March. And then from there, which is around Easter, we begin milking, and we'll have milk from there till All Saints Day again. So that's the traditional milking season in Europe, and we follow that tradition. So I don't have milk all year round with the goats. I do freeze my curds so I can have the chev all year round. So we continue to make our cheese, our specialty chev dishes, chev cheeses, the fresh cheeses. But I don't have the bloomy rind cheeses or we usually run out of the aged cheeses also. And then,
So what's the process? How
okay,
you get, and you milk the cows with your hands, right? Is that something our chefs will be able to do with you?
yes. Then once we get the milk, and if we don't have goat milk, we can show the process with the cow's milk, so we'll be fine. But when we take the milk, as soon as we milk the goats twice a day, a goat gives approximately a gallon of milk a day, give or take. It just depends on the goat.
This is just remind whoever's listening to this, that this is not with machines, right?
No. We do milk them with machine.
Say that to me, and you can even say, and just to remind you folks, this is not machines. We do this by hand every day.
Okay. The way it starts, of course, about 8 days, then we were able to milk the goats because the colostrum has left, and we milk them twice a day. We used to hand milk until we started getting 40 goats. It's just too many to be hand milking, and you can't get anybody to do it anymore. They will not hand milk 40 goats. You have to have a little machine, and we have a little bitty machine. It's not a big old commercial machine. And we do 6 goats on the stand at one time, but we'll milk 1 goat at a time. So while the 6 are eating, each gets their turn. So we'll do that, and it's done twice a day. We collect the milk, and with that, we usually have about 3 to 6, about 8 gallons to 10 gallons, depending how many goats we're milking. Like I said, this year I didn't breed as many, so I won't have as many goats, so we won't have as much milk at one time. So we get the milk, collect it with the milking machine into the buckets, and then we bring it into the little milk kitchen, and we strain the milk. The milk is strained for a second time because it strains on the machine also, and to get any little debris or anything that could have accidentally fallen into it. It goes in some small cans because we keep it small because we don't want anybody to get hurt picking up those large cans. So our cans are about 3.5 gallons. So it's a pretty good weight. It's easy to handle. We chill the milk. The milk is chilled, and then we keep collecting until we have enough milk to fill a 30-gallon vat to make the chev. So we do fill a 28, 30-gallon vat. After we pour the milk into that vat, and then the process of the cheese making starts from there. We're a licensed cheese dairy, and in the state of Louisiana, you must pasteurize your milk. If your cheese is under 60 days old, it must be pasteurized. So we go through the processes of pasteurization. Then we chill down the milk to 84 degrees. Then I would add my cultures, whatever the recipe calls for. For chev, I add an enzyme and the culture with the rennet. And then we wait till overnight. It just stays there, nothing moving. And the next day we have cheese curds. And we would separate the curds in the whey. We would pick out the curds, just scoop out the curds, put it in a cheesecloth, and hang it overnight again. And then the whey would drip out. We gather it in the bucket underneath, and all the whey is fed back to the goats. So the goats get their whey, which is very healthy for them. The goats get beautiful at this time of year when we're doing the whey, and they get to drink it, and they come running. So that's part of it. And then from the cheese that we hang, the next day we'll have our chev, which looks like cream cheese. It's a white cheese.
Beautiful. That's Oh man, I wish I was coming with you guys to try some of this stuff. Now, Erica mentioned to me that you told her that birthing goats can be a little bit messy at times. That's real work, right?
Well, if you have birthing goats can be messy. If you've ever seen a woman giving birth on TV, you know how nasty that looks. But my grandson, who was 3 years old, used to be in the mess with me, trying to help me birth babies. Sometimes they'll have more than one kid. You can have one to as many as four, and I've heard of some having six. And not often, but occasionally, some of the babies will get stuck, and you may have to help pull them out. And then, of course, they'll have that mucus sac all over them, and you want to take all the stuff off their little nose, and sometimes you have to slap them a little bit to get them to breathe. It just depends what kind of trouble you have. And then after they're born, the mother licks them and gets to know them. Then they begin to stand up. And within the hour, you want to make sure the little baby gets to suck on the udder so he gets that first milk, which is very healthy for him. So we help them to get a little bit so we don't worry about it if we're sure that they get some of that first milk.
Gotcha. Okay, can you do another pause and start again?
Okay.